shooting at Lakewood, shooting after the Super Bowl, we got to talk about some current events.
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Lakewood Church in Southwest Houston, and tonight, police say they search for a motive and it continues. But more pieces of the puzzle are now starting to come together.
In fact, police have identified the shooter as Genesee Moreno, who sometimes used the alias Jeffrey Escalante. She had a documented criminal history, and police say she had known mental health problems.
Her 7-year-old son was shot during a gun battle with officers, and tonight, a woman who identified herself as the boy's grandmother posted that he took a bullet to the brain.
This shooting at Lakewood is just absolutely terrible. Not only have I been in the building many times in the past when it was the summit for basketball for the Rockets, but this is a staple not only in the city of Houston, but of course the Lakewood Church is nationally known, internationally known. And for someone to go in there, a mother to bring their child into church and just open fire and start shooting people is absolutely crazy. And look at the result of this. Her child suffered a significant traumatic brain injury when he got shot in the head. What could be worse than this? But here's the thing that I hate to say. I'm really surprised that issues of this nature aren't more prevalent. Guns are they're just too free in our society, where people can go anywhere they want to, and they have a defect of sorts, and then they can just decide, I'm going to take it out on all these other innocent people. And for some reason, as a society, we believe it's okay, because we want our freedoms, that anyone should have access to guns. Well, how many more times do we have to have these shootings where people lose their lives and people are hurt and injured and killed before we decide, geez, maybe there's another way? If you look and see what other countries are doing with these types of things, it gives you indications as to how we can do this and how you can still have your arms, but still modify those rules so society at large is safe. Because until we change things, I'm telling you, we're going to see more and more of these incidents, and these numbers are going to continue to go up until we decide we've had enough and we're going to stand up for the rights of the innocent. So let's talk about the parade in Kansas City. And you see people of all races, creeds, and colors coming together to celebrate their team and the great thing they just did in winning the Super Bowl. Absolutely fantastic. And then what happens? Violence erupts, people get into it, and then people are shot and killed at a celebration. For what? For what reason? And then you see a DJ who's come there just to cover the game, to let people know who couldn't make it out. And she's killed, she's murdered because of senseless violence. It's awful that we cannot come together as a people, as American people, and just go out and celebrate ourselves without worrying about what our neighbor is going to do if we run into them. Why? What is the purpose of this? Because if we keep moving in this direction, I don't know where society goes from here. I'm really at a loss for words. You know, I enjoyed the Super Bowl on Sunday, enjoyed the game backwards and forwards, and the celebration that comes after it. Here's where we are. And as a result of this, instead of us just enjoying this process, we're now mourning the loss of life because people decided to kill each other. For what reason?
Former President Trump does not have absolute presidential immunity when it comes to his federal election interference criminal charges. Trump just lost his appeal in front of the Washington, D.C. Appeals Court.
Hey guys, remember this video that we talked about presidential immunity? Remember this one right here? Okay. So here's the deal. Apparently, I was right. The court systems have ruled, and of course, the president does not have complete immunity. If the president didn't have complete immunity, do you realize the chaos that would ensue? It means I can do anything I want as president and not be held responsible. Well, why is that? No one else in society has the right to do anything they want and not be responsible for their actions. So then why would we allow the leader of the free world, the most important position, one would argue, in the entire world, the power to be immune from any decisions that he makes? That makes absolutely no sense. I understand why they were making the argument, because President Trump is going to be in a lot of legal trouble, but for it to be realistic, it goes against all of our democratic processes and procedures from a legal perspective. It makes no sense. We want to hold our officials to be accountable for the decisions that they make. So to make sure that they're looking out for the best interests of all, not just for themselves. And when you start talking about immunity and doing things in a blanket foundation, that's what you're talking about. Self-dealing, fraud, deception, criminal behavior. We cannot have that. Our public officials need to have that standard be high. When you start to talk about immunity, especially complete immunity, that begins to erode and go down, and we do not want that. We have enough problems that we have to deal with. So the courts got it right here, and thank God the judicial system is set up to deal with circumstances like this. So despite the fact that our system is not perfect, it still is the best system in the world. And I've studied these systems all throughout the world. Our system still works. The checks and balances are still there. It may need a little finagling and the systems may be slow, but thank goodness for the system that we've set up that is going to continue to move us in that right direction.
Supporters in Kenosha, Wisconsin are calling on authorities to free Crystal Kaiser, an accused killer. They say Kaiser is a victim of human trafficking. They want the district attorney to drop murder charges against her. Kaiser says she was defending herself when she shot and killed 34-year-old Randall Voller and set his house on fire in June of 2018. Kaiser was just 17 years old at the time. Randy Voller was charged with child sex abuse and was out on bail at the time of his death. Kaiser's mother says the prosecutor knew about Voller's alleged activities, but did nothing to stop him.
He had evidence. The fact that it took for her to do something because she got tired of it. And he trying to sweep the whole problem under the rug, but it's so much more bigger than just her.
But District Attorney Michael Gravely says Kaiser killed Voller because she wanted to steal his car and then bragged about the killing on social media,
where she is essentially bragging on a Facebook Live sort of telecast. She has a gun in her hand. She's waving that gun in her hand, and she is discussing how if somebody makes her mad, she'll shoot them like she shot someone previously, and there are people there trying to quiet her down.
Kaiser's case has gained national attention, with celebrities like Alyssa Milano and Patricia Arquette calling for her release. Kaiser faces life in prison if she's convicted of murder and arson.
My only thing is I want my child home, and it's messed up how everything happened.
I have serious mixed feelings as related to this particular case, because this is awful, this is terrible. As an attorney that represents thousands of sex abuse survivors, not victims, they are survivors, I think that people that are involved in this type of activity should absolutely be thrown to the wolves. If you're involved in sex trafficking, human trafficking, and injuring other people, I have no patience for you. And so without any doubt, she needs deference as related to these charges, right? And so I understand everyone wanting to dismiss these murder charges and all of those types of things. And if we left it right there, I would contribute to either her defense cost or the defense of the case, so that this woman can be re-educated, to be socialized more readily, so she can get moved back into society. But we have a problem. And that problem is that this young survivor, she did more than just survive. Her actions were not purely just to save her life. If you look at the rest of the analysis, when you start talking about the fact that she's bragging about killing someone, telling people that she wanted to steal their property, these are more than just survival actions. These are actions of greed. They're dangerous actions, and they ultimately resulted in her taking the life of this trafficker. That part I have no problems with in terms of what she's doing to save her life, to get out of that circumstance. But these other issues, it creates a gray area. And I do understand the charges that the DA has put forth. Because the last thing you want is that people then take their actions into their own hands in terms of taking other people's lives and things of that nature. So I do understand the DA's position. But then going back to the family, if they knew about this for such a long period of time, they had evidence against this person, they knew what he was involved in, and they failed to take action. The state needs to take these things into consideration when they're moving forward with these charges, right? These issues are never really completely black or white. There has to be flexibility on both sides with regards to what needs to happen here. I'm hoping that cooler heads prevail, that more evidence is brought to bear, that she has good counsel defending her, and that the district attorney also listens to reason with regards to what is good for society, which is resolving issues of this nature while also dissuading people to take justice into their own hands. And would they come up with some reasonable resolution to this? I don't know what the answer is because I don't know enough about the facts, but hopefully that gives you a little bit more information with regards to why this is just not a simple black and white issue. I'm interested to hear your comments on this. Let me know, am I off base? Am I missing something? Let us know what your thoughts are, because this is a really important topic, and we're probably gonna have to do more of these kind of discussions to see exactly what we need to do next to resolve issues like this in the future. Guys, this technology is absolutely crazy. My son exposed me to it and I used it. It was unbelievable. When I used it, I was using it and how dizzy it was making me feel on roller coasters and this, that, and the other and everything else. This is crazy. And now it's becoming more commonplace because now they figured out how to adapt this to everyday life. And so it is so interactive and so addictive and so easy and accessible. And these companies are going to be generating so much money from this. This is absolutely the wave of the future. It is not going anywhere. In fact, I can guarantee you, as expensive as it is right now, the price points are going to come down. The technology is going to increase, which means, guys, get used to it because this stuff is going to infiltrate every area of everything that we're doing.
And now in the world of sports, I cannot believe that the 49ers, after making it all the way to the Super Bowl, immediately fire Steve Wilkes. He is absolutely their fall guy here. And I do not understand this move at all. It makes absolutely no sense. San Francisco almost won this game, okay? But beyond that, they won every playoff game before this, right? Beyond that, they've had a wonderful season. Their defense has been ranked in the top 5 throughout the year, okay? They fell short to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, okay? The game went all the way to overtime, and they lost to Patrick Mahomes. What is the shame in that? The reward for Steve Wilkes, who came in and improved the defense and brought them right there to the edge of victory, is for him to get fired. Not the coach, Coach Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan, who has lost all these big games, who has been to the Super Bowl before. If the San Francisco 49ers want to blame anybody for this loss, they need to fire Kyle. He has played these big games before, but never made it all the way. He's lost those big games. He's been to the Super Bowl and lost. He's had these big decisions in front of him. Now that his position is being scrutinized, what does he do? He fires the black guy, his defensive coordinator, who just came for the first year. Where is Kyle Shanahan's blame with regards to this? What is the organization of the 49ers going to do to him to punish him? This makes no sense to me. This is unfair. He is a scapegoat, and this is wrong. The NFL should look and investigate this, because actions of this nature, where Wilkes is not given a second chance, when Kyle Shanahan and so many others are, makes no sense. How do you make it all the way to the playoffs, through all the playoffs, to the Super Bowl, to overtime of the Super Bowl, and you still get fired? That's bullshit. Where is Kyle Shanahan's responsibility when he's the coach and should know the protocols with regards to overtime? And when he has the advantage, gives it to the other side, which gives them a supreme advantage. Where's his responsibility? Why is he not being held accountable? That's garbage. Wilkes didn't make that call. He's made bad decision after bad decision, but he's given grace. But Wilkes does his job and gets fired. Where's the fairness and equity in that? NFL needs to investigate decisions like that, because this is bullshit.
Okay, guys, so that's what's going on throughout our world and what I'm seeing. Give me your comments. Are we missing anything? Are there important stories that you want to hear about? Let us know. Give us your comments. Give us your likes. Share. Thanks for watching. I'm attorney Darren Miller, and this is DLAW.